What's going on, everyone? Happy New Year. Let's go and get into it. Recently, I read an article on CNN.com by Roland Martin, who's a CNN contributor, and he read an article called Hollywood's Irrational Allergy to Black Films. And this in the wake of Red Tails is coming up Friday, which I'm going to go see. And also George Lucas's appearance on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart and how he was talking about Hollywood, they didn't want to support or they didn't want to back up or they didn't want to invest in the movie Red Tails based off the simple fact that they had an all black cast in it. Now I find it funny how it seems like, well, there's this perception that it seems like it's against the law for blacks to bring race into different discussions or to play the race card. You know how whites or non-black people like to say, "Oh, black people always want to play the race card. Why you always got to bring about race?" But then when we look at a movie called Red Tails, it's being referenced as a black film. Why is it being referenced as a black film? Like the movie Haywire, which is also another movie I want to go see. It has an all-white cast in it. Why is it not being labeled a white film? Why should Red Tails be labeled as a black film instead of just labeling it as a film or an action film? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand the hypocrisy of, people always want to get on black people about bringing up issues about race or when black people place these racial labels on certain situations and circumstance. People take issue with that, but then it's okay for whites or non-black people to do the same thing. You know, they always want to bring color or race into different situations, circumstances. Like Red Tails, why is it being labeled a black film? Just label it as a film. Of course, they got all black people in it, but just label it as a film. Just as with the movie Haywire, it's an all-white film, but it's a film. It's not an all-white film. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, stop with the hypocrisy. Stop getting on black people about throwing up the race card when y'all do the same thing. Please. Anyway, had to say that, man. This weekend, I'm hitting the movies up hard, and I can't remember the last time I wanted to hit the movies up. I can't remember the last time I wanted to see more than one movie on an opening weekend. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, but the movies for me have been rather enjoyable to go to. Babies aren't there to disturb everybody. Cell phones aren't ringing. People put their cell phones on vibrate or silent. And no one is screaming or talking when the movie's being playing. Oh, bitch, watch out, bitch! Oh, oh damn! None of that. So the times that I've gone with either friends or my little brother, whenever I visit them on campus, or if I'm going out with a lovely young lady, it's been enjoyable. The cinematic adventures have been very enjoyable for me. So three movies that I want to go see is Red Tails, Haywire, Underworld Awakening. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend because I definitely want to check those movies out. But anyway, out of all those three movies, I really anticipated on seeing a Red Tails. And being a black man, it's really important for me to support this movie. And not only because it has all black cast in it, because this is a movie where people can be black people, preferably black people especially, and black men especially. Brothers complain about our images always being portrayed as being gangster or dressed in drag, performing coonery, buffoonery antics. Here is a movie that doesn't present any of that, doesn't present none. And I think it would be very hypocritical for brothers to complain about our images, but then turn around and say they wouldn't go see this movie, even though it displays the exact opposite of the complaints and concerns with the images of black men. It'd be very hypocritical. It would be very hypocritical. If black people consider and support the movie The Help, then black people should show that same determination and loyalty to get the Red Tails movie on the railroad tracks like they did with The Help. Let's keep it real. There's a lot of history with black people that need to come out. And black people have done more than the media or closed-minded, prejudiced, racist simptars can give credit for. I mean, we have films about, like, for example, off the top of my head, we have films like films on Marcus Garvey, Thurgood Marshall, Paul Robeson, Sheila Johnson, Quincy Jones, Black Wall Street. I mean, we can really go there. So me, I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing this. But I'm not looking at Red Tails as just being a black film. I'm not looking at the movie Haywire as being a white film or Underworld. It's movies based off of the trailers that made me say, as Dane Cook would have put it, that looks good. I want to see that. That's about it. Color doesn't deter me. Race doesn't deter me from watching a movie. Yeah, there are idiots who make that a big deal or an issue as the reason why they wouldn't go see a film, but that's not me. Also, no matter how hard people try to cloak it, you can't do it. Racism, racial judgment still exists. It can't be calculated. It exists. You can't say majority of black people are more racist than whites or whites are more racist than blacks. It just can't be calculated. It exists, point blank, period. And as a black man speaking for blacks, racism is still implemented. In certain situations or circumstances, as I said before, it's alive and it's still kicking, and it's extremely difficult in proving that it's not. Racism towards blacks is a reality. And real talk, when we look at Hollywood, Hollywood liberals are just as racist as their conservative counterparts. But not only, and I mentioned that in another, I mentioned, something like that in another video, how blacks are always being portrayed in the media, the same liberal media, just as the conservative media. And you can read between the lines, just as you can read between the lines when you watching shows like the Bill Maher Show on HBO, when you watch Sarah Silverman's stand-up routines, when you watching Daniel Tosh show on Comedy Central, heck, even when you watching the show Family Guy, you can read between the lines and see that old Bugs Bunny type cartoons, you see it. And then when black people finally got to a position where you know they were making fun of whites, you know, they were dishing out what white people were dishing at blacks. They made fun of blacks. As soon as we started doing it, as soon as black people started doing it, people, you had people who were taking issue with that. I'm not generalizing all white people as being offended by it, but there were certain whites who have complained. But I'm like, why? When whites have been doing it before blacks even made it to the small or big screen. In my personal opinion, in many ways, Hollywood's not liberal. Hollywood is definitely not liberal. In many ways, it's more conservative than it is liberal. There have been movies that have gotten good or excellent reviews, but a black director has never won an Oscar for it. And it wasn't until this past decade that we even began to see blacks winning awards on a regular. So, black people have influenced so much, when it comes to the movies. We have, but we also influence so much in sports and in music. Well, take that back. I take that back. In the film industry, we're not really making a big influence as much as white people. But the film industry is definitely something that's holding blacks from influencing it as greatly as blacks have in music and in sports. Now, unless Hollywood squeezes some sort of racial stereotype, is when Hollywood will want to make films with blacks in it. Let's keep it real. Can we keep it real? Like I said, when you watch my videos, I'm going to keep it real with you. I mean, that's the perception that it seems to be given out. Racial stereotypes is when Hollywood want to make films with black people in it. The article that Roland uploaded shows the type of excuses that Hollywood makes about the quote-unquote black films. Talking about how it's impossible to market around the world. Like, really? And as Roland pointed out in this article, it's not impossible to market black athletes or musicians or entertainers. You see them everywhere. I mean, you can look at I got a video posted up on my homepage. A black actor in Japan. He's he is one of the most known actors. I guess one of the top actors in a commercial in Japan. So how is it impossible to market the blacks? Or how is it impossible to market blacks? Bad Boy, the movie Bad Boys 1 and 2, Boys in the Hood, Love Jones, The Best Man. There have been successful, somewhat successful, very successful films starring people of color. Oh, and I forgot about Jamie Foxx, the movie Ray. That was very successful. I mean, come on, man. Let's keep it real. When you look at you know what? One more. Will Smith, the movie Ali. That was a very successful movie. But I was saying, when you look at George Lucas didn't make movies. He didn't look at color or he didn't look at race when he made movies. Hell, he had Billy D. Williams in his Star Wars movies. He had Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, they deserve to die. No, they burn in hell. Yeah, he had him. I'm tired of these mother flipping snakes on these mother flipping plane. Samuel L. Jackson, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, when you look at movies or when you watch movies, it's not difficult to market black films. There have been a lot of successful black films nationwide, worldwide. So Hollywood needs to quit with these excuses. George Lucas' appearance on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart and the way he called out Hollywood, it really isn't a shocker to me or any black people because we knew. And the fact that we even said anything, non-blacks act as if we were making it up or we were just being dishonest. And it's funny how it was George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, who know the ins and outs of Hollywood, was the one who brought this up. It wasn't black people who brought it up. Mr. Non-black male George Lucas brought it up. So I'm not going to the movie just because it has all black actors in it. I'm not going to see Red Tails because of that. Hell, I saw the preview trailers of the movies Pootie Tang and Soul Plane, and I didn't want to see those movies, and they had all black actors in it, but I didn't want to see it. It was whack. I'm going to see Red Tails, Haywire, Underworld Awakening because based on the trailers, they look like movies that I would like to go see. Didn't have anything to do with color. Didn't have anything to do with race. They just look like pretty good movies that I definitely would enjoy watching. I'm really pushing for Red Tails to succeed, and this is why. Because again, I want another movie where the black actors who are seen as heroes and not being portrayed as some inferior, stereotypical buffoon, coon type character, and prove once again to Hollywood that a movie such as this can be marketed, and that having an all black cast shouldn't give people a reason or excuse or to second guess or to not support it or to be behind it or not want to invest in it. I mean, to conclude this video, man, race has nothing to do with marketing or watching a movie. And it should be the same for everyone. Go see a movie because it looks good. Not because the movie has an all-white cast or an all-black cast. Go see a movie because the characters, the plot, the settings, the theme, the conflict, the point of view influenced you, intrigued you to want to go see it. So, that's been my little rant. You guys take it easy. This your boy Macadon. Until next time, I'm out.